Hello and welcome in, everybody. What a day. What a day indeed. This is the official 2024 Fan Page Club Championship selection. Here we are. Gentlemen, I want to start off by saying it's lovely to be here with you both. Secondly, I need to pot down the music a little bit and adjust my camera. So I first want to start with the Plowboy, and I want him to discuss his outfit today because I think he looks like a little champion.
Yeah, so this is actually my dad's old suit when they moved out of their Canton house down here. I did take this suit, and it has been in a dry cleaned bag the entire time. This has never been out of a dry clean bag in the last probably 20 years. I have the nice vest. It's a little jacket. It's a little tight, I'll be honest. I can't believe, for me, 115 pounds, I'm complaining about bursting a button. But then I got, the tie that matches, the pants. I mean, I'm just kind of blue on blue. Kind of feel like a blackjack dealer.
Yeah, you look like an old school saloon bartender. Maybe an old school,
one of those little, maybe not a top hat, but those circle, kind of little nice brimmed hats.
Oh, boiler?
Yeah.
A little derby hat?
Yeah.
Well, you look outstanding, Plowboy.
Appreciate it.
And I'm
Glad to be here.
honored to be here today. It's obviously the first day of the Masters, but what people are really buzzing about is that we are going to be selecting the bracket for the Fan Page Club Championship. KG, you look lovely as well.
Thank
a
you.
tie bar on top of, what is that, velour coat?
It is. I bought this special a couple years ago for the first ever TMA End of the Year Awards.
Oh, that's right.
Busted this out.
That's where I saw it from.
Yeah, had the hat that everybody has grown to love that I bust out for special occasions.
That's right.
Would have worn the gray sport coat that I used to have, but as you know, unfortunately, that was left behind at Circa. So
That's right.
That coat is no longer with me.
That coat is now property of Circus Sports out there in Las Vegas. Well, gentlemen, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Andy Hanselman is already complimenting, saying you boys are cute. He, of course, voices our Free Dotem Masters theme, and so it's lovely to see him. Hello, Andy. And let's get underway right now. Now, first, I want to break it down for everybody. We have 4 sections of this bracket. In the NCAA tournament, they have the East, the West, the Midwest, and the South. For us, we have Tim, Jackson, Iggy, and Plowsy. Now, in each of these 4 sections, we have the premier matchup already set. Tim will be taking on the Pope in a rematch. I will be taking on Mr. Siders in a real grudge match. The Plowhawk will be taking on Todd Reesing, not the former Kansas quarterback, but someone who uses that nom de plume. And finally, Iggy in the major feature matchup, the one everyone's buzzing about. He'll be taking on Mr. Licks. And also KG will be taking on Stephen Wildwood.
And I think before we get into this, we got to talk about, there's a feature matchup we don't even know about yet, and that's whoever going to be facing Douglas Elvin Vaughn.
That is correct.
This
Douglas
guy's
Elvin
a
Vaughn.
phenom on the course, off the course. You've seen him on camera. I'm actually sitting in his seat, which I'm very blessed
Did you take
to
a
do
whiff?
so. Yeah, I haven't smelt it yet, although Wellington was in here earlier, so I may get that
It's a
waft.
lovely little smoothie.
I don't think we've talked enough about who could have faced Doug, and that'll be an interesting one.
And I've already had a couple of people trying to, buy their way into that Doug pairing. Well-dressed Tony.
Well-dressed Tony.
Popped in earlier, was asking what he could do to secure that spot. But again, I've said this time and time again, this is a tournament that's built on integrity, and that Doug spot will not be bought. It's going to be the luck of the draw.
I mean, if we had a Dodgers interpreter, you would have taken probably those bets.
Yeah, you could say that. But yeah, so the way this is going to work, like you said, we've already got the 5 grudge matches set up. That means we have 54 golfers that still need their spot. Now, the Plowhawk over here will be drawing numbered balls.
And we get this on the camera?
Oh, yeah, that's right there, baby.
We actually have a legit system. So I have the players with coordinated numbers, and obviously whatever number I pick out is the player that's going to be matched up with the other number that I pick out. So that's cool.
One little wrinkle here, even though the matchup is already decided, because of the way the regions are set up, Stephen Wildwood and I do not have our matchup. Or we have our matchup, but we don't have our spot yet. So if our number is drawn, we will go directly into the next open space.
Okay, because I was going to put forward maybe to the committee that we place the KG and O-Town and Stephen Wildwood match directly under the Mr. Licks and Iggy matchup to get not only a first round must-see match, but then a second round must-see match because he's got scores to settle with both you and Stephen Wildwood.
I don't hate that idea.
I think why not? If we're going to make feature matchups, if we're going to get the TV viewership, let's do it.
Again, the committee has spoken. The KG and O-Town versus Chairman Steve matchup will go into the Iggy Regional.
Directly underneath.
In the 8-9 matchup, which means either Iggy or Mr. Licks will be playing myself or Chairman Steve.
Wow. Wow. I love this move. All right, gentlemen.
So we are drafting first Tim's bracket. So this is the 8-9 matchup.
Yeah, we're going to start. Right so in our bracket, top left is Tim, bottom left is me, top right is Iggy, bottom right is the Plowhawk. And so we'll start left to right, and we'll start right underneath Tim and the Pope with our first matchup of the day. Plowhawk, can you please roll the balls?
I did, and it just fell out, and it is number 8.
Number 8.
Flip
Wilson, a dangerous 11.3. Let's find out who Flip Wilson, who's a friend of the show, who helps us out a lot in the Mungan Daily Fantasy Sports Show. Then let's see who he will be taking on.
Another ball fell on top of that, so these are going to be the case, and that would be Well-Dressed Tony.
Oh, wow. What a matchup.
I mean, that's a good pairing right there.
It's an outstanding matchup. So
and Flip eliminated me last year.
Is that right?
The Guys Got Game.
Yeah.
Well-Dressed Tony, Sharp-Dressed Man. The winner of that will be taking on the winner of Tim and the Pope. And I know Tim wants that one badly after the way last year went.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk about a talent versus a potential lead sales guy. I mean, that matchup there with just the Hubbard rivalry in itself is something to look forward to.
Must-see television right there. Well-Dressed Tony, a 21.9, but looking to go lower. You like his short game, right, KG?
I do. I've seen him around the greens.
Soft
He's got
hands.
extremely soft hands.
Yeah, and you know he's going to be well-dressed.
Of course, yeah.
Dressed to the nines.
All right.
Okay, so now we have our, what is that, the 5-12 matchup here?
Yeah.
And you always see a 12 perform strong here.
Try
to. Plowsy, who's going to be our 5 seed in the Tim region?
Our 5 seed is Danity Stack.
Oh, wow. A bomber.
One of my favorite human beings, by the way. Always brings a ton of treats and things on every event that we do. Love Danity Stack. Been a loyal listener for a very long time as well.
Love that Danity Stack. Great player.
He's coming in at a 12.8 currently.
Oh, okay.
Let's see who he'll be facing, Plowhawk.
This is kind of nerve-wracking for him. I know he's probably watching. Ooh, we got one that fell. And we have, at 39, anybody want to take a gander at that last name? What up, Paul?
Paul Vlach?
Bruce
Valanche.
Bruce
He's playing on
Valanche.
Bruce Valanche. Wow.
And
when I watch
Danity
Hollywood Square,
Stack.
Bruce Valanche with the red glasses, that hairy beard, just a bear of a man.
He is a bear
I
of a
love
man.
that.
Is there a pen over there by you, Plowhawk? Is there a loose pen? I could use a pen.
There will be one that is located right underneath of the board.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're doing this live, so we're doing it live.
No, that's great. And like I said, Danity Stack, there hasn't been a... I mean, we do have a couple of problem players here that get aggressive. Obviously, the one that we have in place with Siders and Todd Reesing. So I'm interested to see some hatred rivalry going on. It seems like everybody's probably going to be pretty friendly on the course so far.
That's right. All right. Moving on to our next matchup, if you wouldn't mind, the Plowhawk. Just crossing out names. So
47, Christian Stein,
Oh,
who is
Chris
currently
Stein.
playing at 12.1. I don't know if I've ever met this gentleman, and if I have, I apologize in advance.
Great guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Okay.
Great guy. He's got some potential. I'll tell you that much.
I just want to make sure I...
So who will C. Stein be taking on?
There we go. I got one. And it'll be 18, Jace Keister.
Mr. Keister.
I really like the last name, Keister.
5.8, probably one of the lower handicaps in the field, KG.
An actual player.
A couple of quick fun with numbers here. Our high cap in this tournament is coming in at a 30.
Who ain't that, by the way?
That would be Bob Truman.
Oh, Bobby True. Okay.
Good guy.
And then our low cap is a scratch golfer, PGA Pro Dan.
Oh, wow.
And I crunched some numbers, and I found this extremely interesting. The average handicap of the 64 players in this field, 12.1.
Oh, wow.
And that is Christian Stein's handicap as well, who we just drew. That actually is some good numbers. You're kind of that analytic guy in the booth.
Yes.
Nice. So what matchup do we have now? I've already forgot.
We are on to our 6-11 matchup in the Tim McKernan region.
I almost said 6, but it's actually 9. Jakey, big mistake.
Oh,
Wow.
Jakey, big
Again, a great
mistakey.
human being. We know him very well.
Me and him are even. We're 1-1. I've played him twice in the opening round. He beat me the first time. I beat him the second time. Jakey, big mistakey. While he's a quality golfer, really is. he's an even better guy. He's a really great guy, really who you want to be with in the pairing.
And if things fall correctly, you guys may get a chance to settle the score in the final four.
Wouldn't that be something?
You're looking that far ahead.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I got to get through Mr. Siders first and foremost. That's the only thing on my mind.
Plowsy, who will Jake be playing?
Wait, I thought it was a blank number. Number 49,
Guy Watson, former champion.
That matchup isn't in the featured, but wow.
Now he's coming off an injury. And anytime someone's coming off an injury, but he's a great player.
And I have it on as well.
I have it on great authority that Guy is recovering well.
Good
from
to
the
hear.
Injury.
That's outstanding to hear.
He's been getting out and playing. He's always dangerous. He's always a threat.
Former champions, you have to think when someone who's been there before, they're going to be comfortable to be there again. And so Guy Watson is someone who I think we're all looking forward to seeing what he can do out there at Gateway. Let's move on to our next matchup.
Our next guy, we have number 45. Chucky Womack.
Chuck Womack.
Chuck Womack coming in at a 15, a little higher than the average.
Below the average.
Above the average.
Above the average.
Above 12.1 is our average number, so he is just above the mean there.
Who will Chuck Womack be playing, Plowhawk?
Number 6, you just brought it up. The lowest handicap in our bracket.
PGA
Pro Dan.
This region already has a lot of star power in it.
15 pops, though, given up. Or if we're doing 70%, you're talking 12 point, but maybe 12 range, maybe 11. I mean, that's still a lot of pops to give. Even though that's how Iggy beat PGA Pro down several years ago. Getting that 15 to 18 pop range is a tough battle for any opponent.
When you get into those double-digit pops, what you start to see is sometimes those can creep in on the par 3s. Sometimes a par 3 might be handicapped a little bit higher, and that is a real advantage for the player getting the pop. If you can go on a par 3 with a pop, you are automatically in a great position to win the hole.
We have 2 more matchups in the Tim McKernan region. Plowhawk, who's our next competitor?
Number 13 on your sheet. Number 1 in your heart, Brent Hennon.
Brent Hennon, good guy, real good, and a great player. He might be one of the better players.
One of the lower handicaps in the field, 2.3.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'd hate to run into that buzzsaw, especially at this faux 15 that I'm at.
So you got to think he's going to be giving pops to whoever this may be.
And he's definitely giving pops to my lover, Cletus Watson.
Wow.
Number 40 on your sheet, Cletus Watson at 10.1. I don't know. That's a lower than I anticipated him being. I know he does play a lot. He's getting up there in age, and sometimes he doesn't put in his scores often. He, quote-unquote, working on his game. So that's an interesting handicap.
Now, if you're Brett Hennon, do you find it troublesome to focus that day, knowing that if you get a birdie, there's a good chance that you will be penetrated?
It is. It has to go through your mind. I've been out there on the course with Cletus Watson. I've had a couple birdies on my card, and as soon as that putt drops, you don't even have time to go get your ball. He's coming after you.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that going into it. Maybe you wear certain kinds of protective underwear. Maybe you don't shower for a couple days.
It can affect your game.
Yeah, right. It can absolutely affect your game where you're sitting in front of an 8-foot birdie putt and you say, if I 2-putt this, I will avoid penetration and I can still win the hole. Your score might go up.
And his strategy might be, obviously Cletus likes to indulge on the course, which is a great thing to do, obviously having fun with the boys. But he gets better the more wine he drinks through that HIV-infested cup of his. I think bringing him a bottle of wine or trying to buy him shots, that's going to be a negative impact. Because Cletus, he gets in the zone the more he gets liquefied.
And don't forget the girdle.
Can't forget. I won't forget it.
Yeah.
It's synonymous for winning.
What part of the bracket are we in? Are we in my bracket yet?
No, we have one final pairing in this Tim McKernan region.
And it will be. I don't want all the balls to fall out. I worry about that. So I want to make sure.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, I got one that's going to fall out right there. There we go. Okay, and it is. This is the last.
I think we're all looking for number 38.
Number 3. Walt Edmonds, who I have never heard of.
I don't know the gentleman, but he's a 12.5, just above the average on the handicap. Who will Walt be playing, Plowsy?
Man, he must be a looker on the fan page. Have not seen a Walt post.
Yeah, maybe he's just a voyeur.
Uh-oh. There we go.
There it is. We've got a loose ball. We got a loose ball. If I had a nickel.
Sometimes they come out of this ball in. Nicely done,
Wow.
KG. That went a long ways.
42.
42.
Drew Walters.
Drew Walters. Walt Edmonds, Drew Walters.
I mean, that matchup's not going to knock your socks off, but you could see in terms of the handicap, that's a competitive matchup.
Now, looking at this region already, Tim's the favorite.
Absolutely.
As he should be. But something that I find extremely intriguing is the idea of a father-son matchup as that region progresses. Cletus and Guy, it could happen.
I believe it's happened before. I believe they faced each other maybe in the semifinals a few years ago, and I believe Guy ousted his father. We'll see. I'll tell you what, Cletus has good game. Guy has outstanding game. I really hope we get to see that, but you're right. Tim is the favorite going into it if he can outlast the Pope and his wonderful flat stick.
So that'll do it for Tim's bracket. A lot of key matchups. I think having, obviously Cletus, you have PGA Pro Dan in there as well, and Jakey, big mistake. A lot of personalities.
Ton.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not the best game, but then we got the personality star-studded bracket with Tim. So good for him. And it looks like there's a lot of good guys that Tim could go battle with, and that's half the battle with Tim when he golfs, is playing with good people. And I think you got a lot of good people in this bracket.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, we're going to continue heading straight down. Do you want to go to the...
let's go. Let's move straight down. We'll go left
to
to
the
right.
Jackson bracket. Obviously, Jackson, you're going to be facing Mr. Siders.
That's right. That's a 9.1 on my end, 8.6. So I think we're going to be playing straight up.
Extremely critical of your 7-iron play.
Yeah, he's concerned about the distance. I am not.
And I'm biased, but I would love to see you put that narrative to rest once and for all.
I think we all would, KG.
The 8-9 matchup, Plowsy in that region. Who are we going to have?
I love this. Number 20, Andy Heck. Now, we talk about Guy and Cletus being a father-son. How about brother-on-brother crime? Chris Heck, who is a previous winner, if I'm not mistaken.
Former champion
this
himself
is
2
his
years
brother,
ago.
Andy, who is on his bag when he isn't playing.
Wow.
Very good guy. Another great human being. And this is a solid match, 6.9. So, Jackson, that's a tough one to put in your bracket. But again, you're going to have either Chris or Andy, because Chris will probably be on the bag. That's a good, solid pairing.
Andy Heck.
And I think it would just be poetic if we ended up with Chris Heck here for that first-round matchup. Let's see if it's going to happen.
It doesn't. I wanted that too. Corey Pirtle. Somebody on the day, I thought somebody has played this Corey Pirtle guy in the past.
Love the name.
Really
6.4,
yeah.
so they'll be probably playing straight up.
Yeah, one would think. All right, so that's Corey Pirtle versus Andy Heck, brother of Chris Heck, a former champion.
Yeah.
On to the 5-12 matchup in the Action Jackson Regional. What do we have, Plowsy?
52, Matt Wacker. Another
What a
great
name.
Another great
What a
name.
Oh, man.
Keister and Wacker. I mean, I didn't think we could come up with fake names as well as those real names.
Shades of Philip Baker Hall in Seinfeld when as the library cop, he was named Bookman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so Matt Wacker, golf, I mean, just outstanding.
And so Wacker will play. That's just a fun name to say.
There's also a Yankee in the
I was about
field.
to say, I hope he takes on Scott Yankee.
Number 23, Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller.
Check out the so they're
Former
gonna be
Monday
playing
Night
straight
Football
up.
announce team member.
For short-lived.
Wait, Wacker is a 10.7. Okay, so he'll be given a couple pops.
Couple poppy seeds. So that is our matchup in my section of the bracket. Let's keep it rolling.
Faring pretty well, Jackson.
Certainly. But if you want to beat the best, you got to be the best.
The table. And it is. Where is it? Number 43, Mike Sudduth.
Mike Sudduth, great
Okay.
guy.
You know Mike.
I believe so. I said great guy, and then you said you know him, and I said, oh, I think I do, but I'm not positive.
I bet he's a good guy.
I can't imagine he's
We
not.
meet all these guys once a year, and they're all great.
They are. They're all to the light.
They'll be playing. Number 19, Dan Kinzel.
Dan Kinzel.
A 16, but he's got a lot of distance off the tee, and how will that affect from the white tees at Gateway?
Dangerous 16. And those are hard words to say.
Yeah. What do you do on 10 on Gateway? I want the three of you. I want the two of you. What do you do?
You can.
It's a short
nut
par
it
4.
and go over a water source.
There's a
small-
tributary.
A little fjord right in front of the green there.
7-iron to 9-iron, baby.
Yeah, I think
to
that's the
play it
right
safe.
play. It's
I
a
like to
safe
play it
play.
safe.
On a windy, free day, and if you've played the front 9, if you're not starting on the back, and you're confident in your driver's swing, you can take the big stick and try to hold that green. The problem is if you go long on the left-hand side, you're up against a tough chip shot that all funnels towards that tributary.
And if you're starting on 10, it's different than maybe you're 3
Yes.
up, 4 up on 10.
Right. Can
Then
definitely
I might be
change.
peacocking around a little bit and just test out my strength. If not, you're dropping right there. There's a nice drop zone. You can get up and down for a 5. You're fine.
I'll tell you what, I don't think you can win the Fan Page Club Championship on 10, but you can definitely lose it.
Love that. Let's go on to our next matchup here.
Wow. next matchup will be, wow, okay, there it is, number 16, Charles Gaither.
Charles Gaither.
Gaudier.
Gaudier?
Oh my God, that is insane. Really? Is it really?
I believe so. I believe it's French. Gaudier.
Wow.
Like the pear.
He may be the lone Frenchman in the field. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna think he's got to be the best Frenchman we have on the tour right now.
You're not French, Plowhawk?
I am not German.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
He going up. Wow, a 16 versus 17. Chris Heck.
Oh, wow. The
wow.
brothers
We do
are in
have
the
Heck
same
boys
region.
in
Wow,
there.
wow,
I kind of
wow.
had a feeling once we picked Andy Heck that other Heck boy would fall.
Former champion Chris Heck is off the board, and he'll be taking on Charles
So
Gaudier.
where in the bracket would they be playing if they're?
They would have to meet up in the regional final in the Elite Eight. Could
Could
happen.
be on their each
Could
other
happen.
bags. That's the key.
They'll have to go through me, though.
That's true.
Andy Hanselman, by the way, says he's half French.
Oh.
Okay, so that
And
counts.
He's a
That
good player,
counts.
too. And a great guy.
So Chris Heck still needs an opponent. Am I correct?
No, he's taking on Mr. Gaither.
Okay.
Gaudier.
Gaudier.
Yeah.
Matthew Smith. 44. Matthew Smith. What a great name.
You know,
Got
I
a
used
couple
to-
of Smiths in the field this year.
Plaza, you've known to be playing a dynasty in college football video games.
Correct.
Matthew Smith sounds like a name of a default player that gets added about your 8th year into the dynasty.
He's that 2-star D tackle from Idaho.
Right, but you want him. You want him.
He sounds like a BYU player to me.
That's why I went the upper. Yeah, you just feel like that, Matthew. He's gritty.
Yeah.
He's a workhorse. He's a do-it-all kind of a guy.
Coach's
And
son.
He does it on the field and in the classroom.
Yeah, and it's no shot at,
Yeah.
at Matt Smith, not at all. It's just, I've seen that name before in a dynasty about 7 years in. Like Plaza said, 2-star GM, but you like their upside, and I like the upside of him in this tournament. Let's go on to his
6.7.
opponent.
Go. We have number 1, John Cusick.
John
Cusick.
Cusick. John Cusick, who's been nominated for Fan Page Member of the Year a few times, I believe, in the
He
UN
has
Awards.
a lot to say on that fan page.
And it's good to see. 13.1, he'll be taking on Matt Smith. Let's go on to our next matchup. What nice hands on the Plowhawk.
That
This guy's
was
got
very
soft
smooth.
mitts. He's got soft
Yeah.
mitts.
And that could help me on my short game. N31. I don't know why I'm saying N31 like I'm playing bingo. Okay, 31.
Oh.
Milty just had his office the other day.
wow.
Shout out to Mark Milton. Your office is amazing.
21
Paid my
Jump Street.
taxes. He's on
21 Jump Street playing to an 18.2, so his game is trending. He's a good. I'm telling you, I've played with Mark Milton several times. He has moments where he blows up. When we were playing a match play tournament like this, he'll also have holes that he just dominates on, and that's why I think he's dangerous.
And as a tax attorney, April 15th, his life might start to slow down a little bit.
That's
He can
right.
really focus on
That's
his
right.
first round
That's right.
matchup. I wouldn't want to be playing Milty in the first round.
It's a great call right there, KG.
He told me he'd been playing some very hard courses and scoring very well at those hard courses as well. So that 18.8 will come into play.
So who will Mark Milton be playing, Plowhawk?
Andy Hanselman.
Wow.
Two big names. Two big personalities.
That's a matchup I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of.
Mark Milton doesn't show a lot of emotion on the course, and Andy is the exact opposite. But his emotion is very happy. He waves at people across the course.
Yeah.
So he gets a little distracted. So I think Mark Milton can attack that back nine with a couple of pops in there for Andy Hanselman. You never know what can happen.
And you can't overlook just the silky smooth vocals that he provides on the
right.
TMA Master
right.
song.
That's right.
Andy Hanselman, Mark Milton there at the bottom of the Jackson-Burkett region. We've got one more matchup in that region. Who's our first competitor, Plowsy?
Paul Winters, another decently high handicap there at 14.2. So
Paul-
Jackson, again, you're looking pretty good in that bracket. Like I said, you got the Heck Boy to worry about.
Absolutely. They're looming.
And he will be facing
Those hands.
It's
soft
outstanding.
and reaction time. I think, like I said,
You can't
huge.
understand
That'd be
it.
a good safety. Number 48, that'd be Jason, another Smith. Jason Smith.
Former first-round pick of the St. Louis Rams. He did not necessarily work out as an offensive lineman, but I think as a 19.1 in the Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship, he can work out.
So that's Jackson in terms of what could have landed. You didn't get Gee in that bracket.
Didn't get Gee.
You obviously don't have PGA Pro Dan in that bracket. You got some decent guys that you may give a couple pop to, but there's nobody that wows you.
No
Good
Dogtown
matchups
tie.
overall.
No Dogtown tie or reigning champion. But I did get Chris Heck, and he is a former champion. So certainly looming, but an interesting side of the bracket.
4.7, because Chris Heck last year, I do believe, was playing at a course 2 there at Gateway. So you
Maybe
gotta wonder-
a little less play. Maybe he's taken off a little time since winning.
great idea here in the YouTube chat from Injun Joe. He's looking for an Andy Hanselman, Mark Milton topless match.
Ooh, wow.
I don't know how the folks at Gateway will feel about that.
I think Hanselman would much more be eager. After seeing Mark Milton in the business that he's grown, I would be shocked that Mark Milton goes shirtless at an event like this. But if you win and you're moving on to the semi, maybe the championship round, shirts may come off in that situation.
The Fan Page Club Championship does things to people, and there's no doubt about that.
It does a lot of things to people.
And that Doug Vaughn matchup is still looming out there.
Still out there. Number 38, right there. He is looming. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Iggy portion of our brackets, the top right. And we already have 2 matchups set. We have Iggy versus Mr. Licks, and then we also have KG and O-Town. Stephen Wild right under that. So already out of the gate, we're going to have some fantastic matchups.
This is star-studded.
But let's go on to our first selected matchups of this region of the Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship.
Yeah. CD Longo.
CD
Wow,
Longo, an
wow.
outstanding
We got a
sponsor of TMA, Longo Biggs Injury Law.
And point as a 5.
Yeah, 5, dangerous 5. So
him.
CD Longo, I believe it's maybe his first or maybe his second time playing the Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. I can't wait to see what he does.
I know what I want to happen right here, and I think you could probably read my mind. I'd like to see a CD Longo Doug Biggs matchup.
Oh, wow. Can we get number 10, Plowhawk?
Not even close. 51, Adam Wilburn.
Adam
Ooh.
Wilburn, 14.8.
14.
A lot of poppy seeds in that matchup.
So you're talking probably with that 70, probably getting 7, 8 pops. Pretty good. Man, CD Longo at a 5. Okay, so our next matchup starts itself with Curtis Hall. Love that
Curtis
guy.
Hall.
Great guy.
Fantastic photos. He did
Yes.
the Nagel matchup.
Yeah, 9.4.
Just a great guy overall. Lives on the golf course in the summertime.
Is that
so I'm
right?
sure that handicap, that's a phrase.
Figure of
obviously.
speech, I gotcha.
Plays a lot of golf in the summer. Excited to see where his number falls maybe in June or July. But right now, pointing at that, that's pretty good for him. And that could be a tough one in Iggy's bracket. It was on KG. You got to go through him eventually as well.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
Who will Curtis Hall be playing?
Ooh, finally it went to the slot. 27, Brian Ladd.
Brian
Wow.
Ladd. Welcome to the tournament, Brian
Man,
Ladd.
hello.
4.5. Dangerous.
Better player.
So a couple pops probably coming out of there. I think Curtis Hall would be your favorite just based on the pops. I like Curtis Hall's game. I don't know much about this Ladd. I don't know much about Brian Ladd. But at 4.5, he's a force to be reckoned with, no doubt.
And we have, oh my God, I think it says 4, but I want to make sure. Yep, number 4, Todd Callahan. I
another-
worry
Wow.
about this next ball. This guy plays mind games. Let me tell you, he will talk, he will chirp, he will make sure to trash talk and get into your mind.
One of the highlights of last year's FPCC for me, or perhaps 2 years ago, I've seen Todd Callahan and Cletus really have some heated moments out there. We won't be seeing that this year as they're on opposite ends of the bracket. But Plowsy, who will Todd Callahan be facing
tough one.
off with?
Like I said, I love Todd to death, but it just depends on how you like to play golf, because he will get in your head. And that person that gets the delight of being paired up with Todd Callahan
So excited.
is Jay Boyd.
Oh, wow.
Jay
Jay Boyd.
Who I feel like I see on Snapchat every other day. He's on a different golf course. He's an 18.4. Come on.
Jay
I feel like
Boyd.
Jay
This
Boyd's
one's dicey.
frequenting your former place of employment, Forest Park.
Oh, Forrest P.
I think he's there quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's Jay Boyd playing to right now, Jackson?
18.4 for the man out of Hot Shots, Jay Boyd, a former Inside STL employee.
Dangerous.
Long-time
Working on
listener
some
of the
things.
program and a great friend of ours, Jay Boyd, Todd Callahan. That's got to be a feature matchup
Wow.
of a former champion in Todd Callahan and Jay Boyd.
And I know Jay Boyd, and he won't put up with the mind games. And Jay Boyd's been through a lot in his radio career that he can navigate those landmines that
Seasoned.
Yeah.
that he's trying to put on.
seasoned.
So,
Yep.
and here we go. Our next matchup. We'll start out with Tim Rendelman.
Tim Rendelman, he ousted me.
Good on the
Yeah,
fan page.
yeah,
Good dude.
no.
When it comes to the events.
Hurts right here in the side region. Tim Rendelman ousted me. A lot of people look to that back nine and think to themselves, how did Jackson mess that up? And it was truly an unraveling, unlike I've ever seen before. Tim Rendelman is a great player and a great guy, so excited to see what he can do.
No nonsense. I like that. Stayed on. And at number 25, Kyle Leininger.
Kyle Leininger playing to an 11.6. He's a good player. I like that matchup a lot. Probably no poppy seeds given the 80% handicap allotment. Can't wait to see that. I like these matchups with no seeds. I like straight up one-on-one golf. Match play is so much fun. That's a great matchup.
I didn't know if this was the last one in the bracket and the last pairing.
We've got 2 more pairings in this Iggy region, and then Plowsy will be heading to your region.
And Guy is still alive in this thing, and I'd really want to avoid him like the plague here.
I want to correct you, sir. Guy was drawn in the Tim region.
Was he really?
That's right.
Yeah.
My gosh, thank you. I only have the list of the numbers. I don't have an actual bracket.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Man, that makes my bracket, whatever it is, feel
gotta
good.
feel
So
good
the
about
second to last one will start out with Dogtown Tie.
Defending champion.
So he's the defending champion.
Reigning
Chris
champ,
Heck won
Dogtown
2
Tie. He's
years
a
ago.
flying
Okay.
Sibian. He's got a drone and a flying Sibian. 6.2, great player, bomber. Looking forward to see what he can
So
do.
who's gonna put
Looking to pull a Yukon and go back to back.
I don't see why he couldn't.
I know he got to get through what appeared to be Matt Portel.
Matt Portal. I think it's Portal.
Portal?
I think
There's
it's
a Portal and a Portal.
Portal and Portal. Maybe we'll see them match up
Playing at,
near the
what is he
championship.
playing at again?
Portal?
15.2?
15.2 is correct. Plowhawk number 22. Matt Portal is off the board, and he'll be taking on former and reigning champion Dogtown Tie.
And we have one more to go, correct?
Yep. This is the bottom of the Iggy bracket.
38. Doug Vaughn.
Doug Vaughn is
Douglas
off.
Elvin is
Wow.
finally off the board.
In the most show-laden section where we have both KG and O-Town and Iggy at the top of this region, we get Doug Vaughn.
You have
Doug Vaughn
Todd
at the
Callahan.
bottom, which is fitting.
Callahan, and you have Jay
Doug-
Boyd as well. That's amazing.
Dogtown Tie. This might be the star-studded matchup.
And
I can't wait to see who Doug's playing.
I can't wait to see who's going to get to ride in a cart with Doug.
I mean, we're all waiting with bated breath here. This is the biggest draw of the tournament.
This is why people are tuning in. Plowsy, who will be riding with Doug Vaughn in a cart for 5, 6, maybe 7 hours?
I don't know the guy, but in terms of handicap, I think Doug kind of worked himself out. Jim Haley,
Jim Haley.
19.6.
19.6.
So Doug
Doug's
says he
giving
plays
pops.
up more. He's gonna give a couple of pops there. That's a tough battle for Doug.
I met Jim
Oh, okay.
not long ago at a local Mexican restaurant in my area. Was nice enough. I didn't need him to do this without me even knowing. He paid for my tab from
Oh,
across
my
the
God.
bar. So
Oh,
I'm a
my
big
God.
Jim Haley fan.
Salt to the earth.
Yeah.
Sounds
Salt
like
to the
him
earth.
and Doug will have a good time. I was worried about the Callahan-Doug situation, but Doug knows how to keep people in their place. So.
Wow, that is Doug Vaughn off the board.
Congratulations, Jim. You got the draw that everyone in this field wanted, matched up with Doug Vaughn.
That is in a great bracket.
Absolutely.
Not easy, I would say, but a great personality bracket.
So, Plowsy, as we look to your side of the bracket, some big names still left out there. The People's 8, El Ocho Magnifico, Fred Freeman.
Oh, I forgot about
playing to a
Fritzy.
1.6 is still out there,
Oh, my.
as well as the Florida Flower. And our high handicap of the tournament, Bob Truman, is still out there.
Love
looming.
to see Truman get on my end after that,
Yeah.
after my racing battle.
So,
but we will see. This is the one I first drew. We are at 35,
That's
which is John Rogers.
John Rogers.
I'm not aware of the fella.
I don't know John.
Plays a 12.6.
Bet you he's a stand-up guy, though.
Yep.
Can't imagine anything else.
Wouldn't be in the tournament if he wasn't.
Bingo.
And he's playing Pat McGee.
Pat
Is that
McGee.
McGee?
Pat McGee.
There's no C there.
Yeah, I think that's McGee.
Yeah.
I think that's
I may know Pat. I'm not sure. I
This
believe-
is This is like a no-name side of the bracket here.
Well, we
So,
don't know them.
We don't know them.
We don't know them, but I'm sure they're lovely people, and most importantly, they are loyal listeners and supporters of TMA.
And before you draw this next
I like that.
name, Plowsy, I just want to thank everyone in the field. Plowsy, you commented a couple times about thinking my life was hell being the commissioner of this tournament.
It doesn't sound fun. I can tell you that.
The members
Wouldn't
of
be
the
what I wanted
field
to do.
made it extremely easy on me. Everybody got back to me in a timely fashion. Everybody except a couple paid in a very timely manner. I could not be more proud to be the commissioner of this fine event. And I just want to thank all the members of the field for making this just a seamless
Well,
experience.
just because you put a deadline of people paying, you do realize there's always headaches. But to
Always.
have the 80% or 85% we did on day one of the the deadline for the payments was good to see. Or all but 4 almost, right? Am I correct on that?
And I'd be remiss, and I'll speak for the entire playing field, that we appreciate your hard work on doing this and getting it done the right way. We very much appreciate you. Let's move on to our next matchup.
All right.
I could not imagine if I set this up how terrible it would have gone. So
next year. You can do it next year.
It would be very funny, and I want to see it.
Scott Yankee.
There's the
We got a
Yankee.
The Yankster.
And we got a 22.1 as well. So this bracket's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
it.
good. If this is a Yankee versus Bob Truman, a 22 versus a 30,
We've seen a 30 versus 35. Oh my God. Okay. I think
we're gonna need that one.
we're at the other one.
We got loose balls.
One fell here, that one rolled
That one
there.
right there. All right, so this one's after this one. Okay, so Yankee is going to be playing number 21, Danny. Anybody?
Best of luck to you, Plowhawk. I want to see you pronounce that name.
Grezowskiewicz.
I'm gonna go with Griskoviak.
All right. Yeah, that W
way
sometimes
better.
in
Man.
European, more Eastern European, that W can be a V sound.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Danny
Griskoviak.
G, nonetheless, is playing at a 12.1, so right there at the average.
And I don't know either of those gentlemen, but just as somebody who may find themselves talking about this tournament quite a bit and writing things down in the bracket, no offense, Danny, I'd love to see you get eliminated early so I don't have to write your name and attempt to say your name over and over. Yankees much easier.
Yeah, Danny G. Let's go with Danny G.
The next ball that fell that I grabbed was 55. That was KG and Steve, so obviously we have that matchup already done. So
Yep.
this is going for number 37 here, boys.
That's Florida Flower.
Wow, the
That's
Flower.
the Florida Flower playing to a dangerous 11. Now, what I noticed about Florida Flower game, he takes the club back past parallel. He really loads up in that power stance and then brings the heat. Now, while that can bring a lot of power, it can also bring a wide delta of shot dispersion. I think if he shortens it up just a touch, Florida Flower could be a very dangerous 11.
Gotta
in this
watch
field.
that win.
Great
I love
tan.
that guy.
Great tan on that
Outstanding
boy.
tan and a great guy. Really is. I love the Florida Flower.
He is a phenomenal player.
Who's the flower got, Plowhawk?
Jordan Harris, number 14, a 17.2. Again, another guy I don't know if I'm familiar with the name. Obviously, I probably have met all these fine gentlemen.
Jordan
I just
Harris,
can't put it
I
in.
don't know him. I don't think I've ever met him. Big golf guy.
Okay.
He asked me some questions about the daily fantasy matchup from time to time. I've seen him attending professional golf tournaments. This guy lives, eats, breathes golf. It's Jordan
Good to hear.
Harris.
Good to hear. Dedicated field.
We got ourselves Andy McCarty,
Andy
number
McCarthy.
24, at a 14.4 handicap for old Andy.
Okay.
It just seems like a really nice
Boy, this
bracket.
smells like a Fred Freeman matchup if I've ever seen one.
This one fell first. We have number 29, Pat Riley.
Oh, wow.
Former
coach.
Heat coach.
Oh, president of basketball operations with the Heat. I kind of modeled my hair today after the old slick back. Adrian Brody portrayed them in Winning Time, the short-lived Lakers Showtime
Oh, yeah.
series. Pat Riley, one of the best minds in basketball, but he's playing to a 13.9 in this tournament.
And we got him, guys.
Oh, wow.
Ocho Magnifico.
Fred
Wow.
Freeman.
Wow.
Friedman.
Fred Freeman, who's playing to a
Off the board.
1.6, will be taking on Pat Riley, the erstwhile Heat coach and now president of basketball operations. There's a lot of poppy seeds out there. We're thinking 11, maybe 10.
I think you may have missed one. I've got Andy McCarty going up against Pat Riley.
Okay.
So Fred Freeman was the first name in this next
got
matchup.
it. That's my
I'd
apologies.
I'd like to see him face Bobby T.
Oh, wow, yeah. That'd be a wide delta.
You didn't get it, but you do have a sponsor in Doug Biggs.
Doug Biggs, 11.5.
Doug finally gets, and he's going up against Fred Freeman. I know the 1.6 may scare you. We call him Ocho Magnifico for a reason. He's kind of that people's eight.
He's the
You know,
people's
you
eight.
never know if he's a 1.6 or not. We've seen him play. He's okay. But that the number shouldn't scare you because you are getting probably 4, 6, 7 pops. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And we've got 4 balls left, 4 names left to draw before we finish this bracket. I can't wait to hear who it is. Plowsy, who do you have?
Number 53, Bobby Truman.
Bobby
There he
Truman.
is.
Who will be taking
facing a
on?
30.
The 30 handicap, the high handicap in the field. 30. I mean,
Could play to his advantage.
very much so.
Wow, going up against Craig Williford.
Craig Williford, who's a 14. Probably the best case scenario for both. If you had someone like Fred Freeman taking on Bob Truman, we have upwards of 26. You're getting 2 aside on most holes. That's not what you want.
Two's tough.
Yeah, this is going to be probably about 12 pops that Craig Williford will be giving Bob Truman, so a little bit more fair matchup.
Obviously, we know the matchup, but I feel like the guys still deserve justice of getting their balls falling out.
Yeah, play out their balls, Plowhawk.
I got it. And number 30.
Andy Long. 8.8.
I've faced him a couple of years ago.
How'd you like his game?
Great game. Good guy to be with out on the course.
That's the most
good
important
vibes
thing.
guy.
Yeah,
and I think that's important.
Vibe guy for life. And he's obviously going, the only person left, Brian Porter.
Brian Porter is our final selection. He's not Mr. Irrelevant to me. He is very relevant as he will be taking on, who will be taking on? He'll be taking on
Andrew Long.
Andrew Long. So Brian Porter, Andrew Long.
Plowhawk,
Close out.
I'm gonna let you look at your region here.
I'll look a little bit.
What's your initial reaction here at your region?
You know, I knew it wasn't going to be a quote-unquote star-studded because of how many guys fell through
it
the
was top
previous
heavy.
3 regions. I mean, especially an Iggy bracket, right before mine, you're seeing the names fall right and left, the big key names. But I'm really looking at that McCarty-Pat Riley matchup. But mainly, I want to see how Fred Freeman does holding that 1.6 against a quality player in Doug Biggs, giving 7-ish pops. I don't know how he handled pressure at the club, whatever club he's a part of, but that one is intriguing. You can see a huge upset there.
Now, something here in the YouTube chat, Plowsy, I know you've had words with this gentleman before, Joshy Tuna.
JT.
He says, all Pat needs to do is buy McCarty a few drinks, and he will win by a landslide.
See, that's the thing. These guys on the fan page know all these fan page members better than we do.
Yeah.
So they kind of know the secret sauce and the ingredient that need to be a real champion because they know how to get under people's skins and what to say, what not to say, what drinks they like. And I think all that information, it's super sad to know. But in this sort of event, I mean, that could take you a long way.
Well,
That's going to do it.
I love it. And there are some really, really good matchups. I honestly, the Jay Boyd Callahan one is very intriguing because, like I said, Jay Boyd won't react to the Todd Callahan mind games. And I think Todd, if he's going that route or trying to go that route, might be a tough one for him. And seeing him getting ousted in the first round, we haven't seen that in this entire tournament ever. So he could be a one and done.
before we close things out here, there's one matchup that just jumps off the page at me. It's the one that everybody's been talking about. There's going to be a gallery there for it. I want to know, what do you guys see happening between Iggy and Mr. Licks? You haven't seen Mr. Licks play. You've never met the guy. Assuming he is the 22 that his gen shows, Iggy, everybody knows what Iggy shoots.
That's right.
What do you see happening in that first round Iggy-Mr. Licks matchup, Plowsy?
I think and I love Iggy, I think the Iggy lazy factor is going to be a problem. He hasn't been out on the course a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He has a very bum shoulder and hasn't really worked it out a bunch, whether it be physical therapy, whether it be just working out at home or going to the course.
He's got to knock the cobwebs off.
And Mr. Licks, granted, he is a high handicap. He calls a lot, not sure how much he plays. I think the wind is going to be the determining factor here. I don't know if Iggy can get that ball out there enough. Gateway has some tough spots there right off the tee that if you don't hit it crisp and clean and perfect, you're in the water or you're in deep fescue or maybe even a burn patch. So I think the accuracy off the tee for Iggy is crucial. I think Mr. Licks will get him just because that stamina of 18 holes of golf for Iggy with that lack of rehab, with that shoulder, the lack of playing a lot of rounds of golf. But the Iggy motivational factor to knock off a guy like Licks is always going to be there.
What are your thoughts on that matchup, Jackson?
I understand where the Plowboy's coming from. I'm going to take the opposite side. I think every time Iggy's been challenged in these grudge matches, whether it be Daddy Padre, the chipping challenge where he was chipping onto a green that you could park a small yacht on, whether it be the long drive challenge, which he shipped, whether it be a match with Stephen Wildwater, the Illsider. He comes to play when there's action on the line. People talk about getting nervous. That's not what Iggy does. I think another grudge match, another victory for Ken Strode.
And my matchup with Steve, the winner of us get the winner of Iggy and Mr. Licks, and I want to take the perceived animosity out of it. I don't want to face off against Iggy. Iggy, he does have one thing on me, and that's he destroyed me in the FPCC a few years ago when I had Cam Jansen there to caddy. That's going to be in my head if I happen to beat Steve and have to go up against him. I don't want to face Iggy. So I will be rooting for Mr. Licks. I'm a Mr. Licks guy. I'd love the chance to play him in the second round. That's assuming I can get through Steve. Tim's high on Steve. He's trending in the right direction. I think the 2024 Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship is shaping up to be one of the best we've seen.
It's wide open. And before we go, I want each of you to give me your pick for the champion this year.
I got to go Chris Heck.
That's a good call.
He's a
Really
player
good
that I've
call.
seen probably the most of all the other athletes on this list. We call them athletes.
That's right.
Doesn't matter how you look on the golf course. Doesn't matter how you strike it. And these guys are ball strikers. But I think Chris Heck has familiarity. I think he has yearly pass at Gateway, which is a huge advantage. Kind of knowing where all the nooks and crannies are, all the landing spots. Knowing where pin placement is very big and important in this tournament. I'm going to have to go with my boy. Love the guy. Chris Heck is, if I'm an odds guy, he's playing at like, what, a 6.7 or something? I think that's huge.
Chris Heck, 4.7.
4.7. Nonetheless, that dude is a scratch at Gateway when he's on his game. I'll give the credit to him.
Now, if we were just going on who's the best golfer, I'd pick Tim. I would call Tim to win.
Right.
Tim should win.
It was hard not to pick him, but I just saw Chris Heck's a little bit easier of a ride there.
But Tim has that extremely low number. I think that's going to be tough. I'm going to go with a guy who proved last year that he could get the job done. I know he's hungry to do it again. Plus, he's playing to that 6.2. It's not a number that's insurmountable. I'm calling Dogtown Ty to repeat.
Wow, back-to-back, the year of repeats, where we had UConn repeat. Can we see another repeat from Dogtown Ty? My pick, I think in tournaments like this, the higher handicap has the edge when you're talking about giving pops. And the fact that this guy's number has gone down has shown me he's found some things. And I've always said if he can find just a few things in his game, he can be very dangerous. I'm going with 21 Jump Street, the SDL tax lawyer himself, Mark Milton, to take home his first Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship.
Got a simulator at the office.
I'm telling you.
He knows how to go out and have a good time. We played in Vegas last week or 2 weeks ago.
He's low-key dialed, and he's a great tax attorney, but I think he's a really good golfer who's going to have a real shot to win this Jay Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to do this here with you. It's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of great matchups. Looking forward to talking about more on TMA tomorrow. Thank you both for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Plowsy.
Now I want to get it going. Now we got to wait a couple weeks.
I'm gung-ho. We can watch the Masters later today and then get into it. April 28th at Gateway. We can't wait to see everyone out there. Thanks to everyone for watching. We appreciate you. That's going to do it for our fan page selection. I'm going to go walk over the board now and shut it down. So, boys, keep your opinions to yourself until I say the set is no longer hot, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This is like when in the scene to where the news anchors are still on air, but it goes to black and they just talk.